Hi, Brenda Balance here, Be Balanced Arts. Today we are going to be doing a string pull or chain pull using Mardi Gras beads. I'm going to be doing a couple flowers. I have a smaller canvas than I usually use, but this is for demo purposes. I've actually had a request to do this video because of somebody that has been trying to do this for quite a while and having trouble with it. And once I thought about it for a while, I thought I probably have some good ideas of what the problem has been for her. And one of them is getting the paint on the canvas. When you put your base coat down, if it's too thick, it always creates a problem. Well, the way I've solved that issue is I use a balloon. I take and dip the balloon. It picks up a lot of paint, and I use it to cover my sides. Just like that. The reason is because as you pull your chain, it gathers the base coat and pulls it along with it, and that can create problems with your chain or your string. Same difference either way. I do them both the same way. I just use a different thing, a chain, Mardi Gras beads, or string. Oh, I just put my hand in the paint. Good going, Brenda. Once again today, my friend Linda is filming for me. Thank you, Linda.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome.
Thank you. My tripod has been very handy if I want the video to be 1/3 of the screen going up and down. I can't get it to turn side to side so I can get the whole screen. So I have much better luck when I have Linda here to help me out. She happened to come by. We went out to lunch today, and she volunteered to help me do this. So I very much appreciate that. And I'm sure the girl that's been having trouble with her string pulls will appreciate it too. The balloon will even stand up by itself, so you can wipe your hands or do whatever you need to do. Now I'll cover the rest. And the thing that makes this so great is the balloon will even pull paint off of the canvas. If you have too much paint on the canvas, you can use it to lift paint off and thin it. And I actually use this method for a lot of different ways to paint, a lot of different pours, just because I like using the balloon. But for the string pull or chain pull, it's almost a necessity because I can take all this excess paint right off there. Okay, now I'm going to take and move all the paint to one edge. Probably the bottom would be the best. There, now I have really good coverage, and I don't have a lot of excess unnecessary paint. And the paint that I do have on the canvas can be moved more out of the way so it doesn't catch in my string as much or my chain as much. Once I'm done, I wipe my balloon off really well and just put it over here. Now, time for the gloves. The colors I have today are Artist Loft Turquoise. This is a blue that was mixed up of 3 different shades of blue just to make a full bottle. So it's a blue, question mark. This one is Liquitex Basics, lime green. This one is another mix. I called this one banana pudding, question mark. Because to me, it looked like banana pudding. Because I don't want to label it wrong, thinking that it's a certain color of yellow and then add that color to it, and it's not the right color. That's why I have the question marks. All right, so let's begin. I take my beads. I'm going to lay them out. I like these little foam plates or trays because they do come in very handy for this, and then I just leave the little tail hanging out. So let's start with lime green. Now, banana pudding. Blue question mark. And some Artist Loft turquoise. Once you get all your paint down and your beads or string, either one, in it, you need to make sure you've got good coverage. So I take a stick and make sure it's covered well. Then I'll take a paper towel and wipe it so I don't get my colors mixed up together as I'm doing this. You can either scoop it on top of it or try to roll them in it. This will make a very interesting pattern if all goes well. I've only done this once before, and I came out with like a hash mark pattern. I was very happy with it. So hopefully I can recreate that pattern. All right. Now this is a very small canvas. I normally like to do 3 flowers. With this, I'm only going to be able to do 2. Because the beads are big, the canvas is small. You make it an S shape, kind of like a serpentine motion. You keep doing that until you get down to the bottom, and then you let it fall off. Now, at this point, you can take your craft stick and make sure that it's making contact all the way across the canvas. This is more particularly important to do with a string because strings tend to lift up, and then you have blank bare spots, which nobody wants that in their flower. So now I'm going to pull. You take whichever hand you're going to pull with, keep it free, take the hand, opposite hand, and put it at the end. And you hold it like this. Gently, not too firmly, but firmly enough for the beads not to move, because you don't want them to move too much. You want them to all come off at the same spot. And it creates this hash mark pattern. Now, if I had too much white paint on here, I'd be pulling puddles of white paint with this, but since I used the balloon and thinned my paint out on the canvas, I get a much better drag, which much less white paint being pulled through and messing up our pattern. Notice how I try to keep the beads coming off at the same spot. That creates the stem. thusly, you have your first flower out of two.
Very pretty.
Well, thank you. I think I can actually just go ahead and reuse this because it didn't pull any white up. So let's go back to yellow. Normally I rinse it in between, but I'm also trying to do this quickly so you can see everything in a timely manner. And I will get my stick back and roll my beads around. Now I do have two colors mixed up, but a little bit of color blending can add interest as long as it's not too much. Get them all covered again. And this is important, so take your time. Make sure you get good coverage. You'd hate to get your first flower gorgeous and your second flower give you trouble and mess up your whole painting. So take your time on this. Make sure you're covered really well. Roll your beads around. Excuse me. And spoon it over so you're covered good. This one especially because I'm only doing 2 flowers. If you mess up one of the 2 flowers, it ruins the whole thing. Not much room for error when you're doing that. Some things are just worth taking the time. And I really hope this helps the lady out that's been having trouble with her pulls. I've done several pulls because friends and family have seen them and just fell in love with the method, and I'm always happy to do them. This is kind of a newer thing I've been doing with the Mardi Gras beads, but I love the effect you get. Let's try it one more time. I have to make you step back, Linda. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Oh no, I just dripped. Where I dripped, I just went ahead and pulled my string over it. I'm going to attempt to pull that lump out. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Let's find out. I seem to be slinging paint. Hopefully I didn't get you, Linda. And once again, you take and make sure your beads are all down good and firm, solidly touching the canvas. They appear to be. As I said, this is much more important with strings. Strings do not want to lay flat. And then you take and put your dominant hand pulls the string, your other hand keeps the beads in line. And let's try this. Come on. Stay in line. Sometimes you have to make adjustments to keep your beads in line. Because they definitely want to roll on you because they're beads. Now this one has more of the hash mark look than the first one, but I actually like both looks. Hopefully you like them too. What do you think, Linda?
Oh, it's very pretty.
I think that came out pretty well.
I do too.
Hopefully I gave enough information for the woman that requested this to be able to do this now without too much trouble. I'm very happy with the way it came out. I hope you all are too. So at this point, I'm going to say, please like, share, and comment on my posts. I'm trying very hard to bring you more interesting things each time I do it. Eventually we'll get around to doing just about every kind of pour that there is, because eventually I want to learn how to do all of them and show you how to do them also. So for now, I'm going to say, this is Brenda Balance, Be Balanced Painting, saying have a good day and bye-bye.